Hello and welcome to a game called Cultist Simulator. This is a very fun game. It's like you're managing a cult and you're being a leader of a cult, yet the way you're doing it by playing a sort of tabletop game, but not quite. So let me show you what do I mean. So let's start off this game, and we are starting as the aspirant, alone in this chilly city, with my useless education and my dreams. What now? Could I become something more? And this something more is actually the real objective of the game. So basically, imagine a world, not a modern one, a little bit older. A world where all the occult stuff, all the mystic stuff is actually true. And there is something behind that mortal shell of ours. So, this game, you can see it here, it tries to simulate a tabletop feeling. You have cards, like this one, manual employment. Each card has a sort of art and also a description. A precarious position as a hospital porter. Miserable, but it's all you can find just now. Also, this card has a certain aspect to it. Aspect of a job. An arrangement to exchange one's life for money. And each card in this game has some amount of aspects to it. But also, what does this game have is actions. Actions are the way for you to exchange cards for maybe different cards, maybe for something else. For example, this action is work. So, it has a slot for a work card. Let's put our manual employment here. And it changes. It gives you a little bit of story. Another shift, mopping the darkened hallways, delivering post to hollow-eyed invalids, traveling corpse-laden gurneys to the basement. And you can start it. And here's the first difference from a traditional tabletop experience. It starts a timer. This game happens in real time. You can pause it, or maybe you can fast forward. Yep. And as we did it, another thing popped up. Another action. Let's rearrange it here. And as you saw, it popped up in this blue area. And we have also this white area. Basically, whenever you receive a new thing, a thing that you've never received before, it has no position on the table. And it will just default to this one. If it's action, they go here. If it's a card, it will go into the white line. Well, let's read it. What we did. Halfway through your shift, the head porter beckons you aside. We won't require your services any longer, he says. Here's your last payment. We've paid you through the end of the month. I have lost my job. At least now I have a little time to rest, and my health improves. And you can see a little bit of aspects of the card that are contained here, but also let's reveal them. First we got funds. Enough to support me for a while, in adequate comfort. And health. This is my body. There are other bodies, but this one is mine, and my mind needs it as a fungus needs soil. And in square brackets we have a little hint. With enough vitality, you can gain more health. Let's collect this one. And basically, these are our resources. It's half of our person that we are playing as, and these are the money that we have. The monies are not as important as the health, because if for some reason it happens that we lose this card forever, then we die. Yes, this game is not as easy. It has many different loose conditions, and one of them, if you die. But others are quite more sinister. So, let's see what this little action is about. Recall my dreams. Once again I dream of a glow beneath the filthy skin of the world, the light through the black wood, the pale door, the old man. It began when I spoke to the old man in the hospital. He knew my name, but he's dead now. The pneumonia? Why do I dream of him still? What is the cobalt light in my dreams? Time is now passing. Again, this is a hint for you. This is not a turn-based game. You're actually racing against time. And so, we've got ourselves, our other side of ourselves, passion. Dual minds are never either intuitive or mathematical. Blaise Pascal. With enough glimmering, you can study to gain more passion. You can say that this is artistic part of our mind, the one that searches for hidden meanings in the world, the passion. If we lose it, again, we will go insane and die. So, what is this action? It's dream. Rest, reconsider your priorities, or risk yourself exploration of kingdoms of sleep. And what is interesting, it has a slot for a dream. But what do we put here? Well, if you click this empty spot, it tells you a little description, a direction for my dreams, or a trouble to recover from. And also, with this little mark, it points to which aspects are required in a card to be put here. Like we need an aspect of ability, or maybe aspect of funds, which is here. It's not, this thing is the funds itself, the card is funds, but it doesn't have the aspect of funds. Sometimes these little things will point to a specific card, or maybe to a specific aspect within a card. So for example, if you click this, you can see that we can put, well, all of our free cards, because they lighten up. It's because this card has an ingredient slot. Well, if we put our health here, and early night, with luck, I'll wake refreshed. Sometimes this provides contentment. Often it will do nothing. Occasionally it will create dread or fascination. But what if we put passion? I know this dream. A road crest, a hilltop, and the air is silver bright. And now this is a different thing. First of all, you get a nice little art when you trigger this special action, but also you need to provide something in order to progress, or maybe something to progress into a different direction. Well, but you can see, I don't have anything, because nothing is lighting up. I don't have anything of aspect of law, or a specific card of way to the wood. So let's just let it run, and let's look at this action. A change in the air. I need funds to live, but perhaps this recent upset in my circumstances is a secret blessing. Is there something to my dreams? There is a change in the air. A letter from a solicitor. The old man at the hospital, the one I dream of, has named me in his will. I'll hear more soon. So let's pass some time, and maybe let's try to work with our health. Backbreaking work for meager pay. Is this the best I can do? And what did we get here? The old man has bequeathed me with a sum of money and a packet of peculiar peppers, poetry, riddles, metaphysical speculations. For the first time in months, here's some fuel for my reason. The study unlocked. So we got some funds, a bequest, and reason. No live organism can continue for long to exist sanely under conditions of absolute reality. Shirley Jackson. With erudition you can study to gain more reason. And if passion was our search for the unknown, reason is kind of part of our mind that is based on intelligence. And as you saw, I clicked collect. Everything that is new is put here, but our funds, they automatically stored in this box. So now we got a new thing called study. So let's study our present. But how are we going to study it? Because here, a package of peculiar papers from my correspondent, executor. I must study it using either passion or reason. And here, again, it says that it needs either passion or reason. And this is thing that I want to show you, that sometimes you will make choices in this game. And there is no immediate answer. Is this choice a correct one? Is it wrong one? Am I going to get better reward? Worse reward? Am I going to get punished? Well, this game is all about experimentation, and you just have to find out for yourself. What will happen if you do that? What will happen if you do the other thing? Sometimes in your playthroughs you will make a great mistake and it will cost you dearly. Maybe even you will lose because of it. Crumpled fields, the wink of a river, and a tingling chill. Also, whenever you're doing some action and it's still in progress, it kinda keeps everything that is going to be given to you by the end of this action. So, by the end of this action, we'll given a passion exhausted and a dream hinterlands. Basically, what this thing means is that there is a pile somewhere, a hidden pile. Imagine you're playing a tabletop. You have a pile of cards, and you're just drawing a random card from this pile. And so we're going to draw from a pile called Dreams Hinterlands. Well, let's see what will happen. My correspondent describes my dream exactly. They use names that are instantly familiar. The house, the wood, the hours, the glory. They knew secrets beneath time and skin of the world. A new curiosity burns in me. There is a note here. Directions to a bookshop that does not advertise its wares. So we get directions to some bookshop. We get Temptation Enlightenment, which is the card that is our win condition. We either can pursue this enlightenment victory, or maybe we can change it. How? Well, there is a little hint. Think about it might advance it or change it. And it's up to you to find out how to advance it or change it. Notes of a possible collaborator. As I said before, this is not just about you as a person, but also about your cult. You strive to become something more. You're trying to ascend in this world. And you cannot do it alone, so you'll build a cult. And you need other people for that cult. So, and a watchman's secret. This thing is the most abstract one, because this is knowledge. It has aspect of lore and aspect of requires knowledge. Basically, if it requires knowledge, it means that this is some kind of puzzle, but you'll get these things. They're not material things, they're something that you know, and it will help you. Well, let's put everything here, for example, for now. Our directions and our knowledge here. We can study something, for example. Let's study our possible collaborator. I have a name, a description, a few tantalizing details, but there are 1,000 faces in this city. Our dream is going down. Down I go. And you can see, before, when we were at this stage, we had a draw pile, but now you can see we have a dread. Well, let's progress and see what it does. Our action has finished. I have levered up floorboards and wriggled down snugly. Now I am compressed beneath them, like a hidden corpse. There stinks of hot dust. My mouth is full of splinters. But this is the space below. And yeah, basically, we dreamt of something. And now we feel dread, because, yeah, we were like a corpse, but also because something else. Some influence. Clouds part, walls creak, old wounds ache. A sixth order influence, significant resonance or correspondence. This can be used in some rites to summon minions. Yeah, and basically, when you're doing your dreams, or any action, to be specific, you don't have specific output for each action. Rather, you have a random distribution, a random chance for getting something out of it. For example, one time you can get, well, what we got here, dread and subtle fracture. Other times you might get nothing, or maybe you can get something useful. This all depends on some random chance. Some actions are actually quite defined. We have a clear outcome of these actions, there is no random chance, but some actions aren't, and it's up to you to decide, and up to you to find out. And also, quite an interesting thing that maybe you've noticed, but maybe you didn't, which is quite different from the usual tabletop experience, is that cards themselves have a timer. Like, see, it has 59.2 seconds. By the end of this time, something will happen to this card. It may just disappear, maybe dread will disappear, or maybe it's like exhaustion. This card can be used, but it will recover after 60 seconds. Like you see, there is a hint that this card, when this timer runs out, you will recover your passion. But also dread. I've seen too much. A nameless gnawing fear has its teeth in my hopes. An existential horror. And this card has a lot of things to it that may be useful, maybe not, but also aspect of ill health. Perhaps I can rest and recover. And this is important because there are certain concepts in this game that will attract negative consequences, negative actions. You're not only fighting for the resources in this game, but also, I guess, for the control of these resources. The day is done, and so am I, but I've earned my pay. We get vitality, which, as we read before, on the actual health card, it said that if we have enough vitality, we can increase our health, and we got some funds. And these funds are quite crucial for us because this action that I skipped and ignored is actually our timer. The time is moving. Time, the sundial shadow, passes. I must have funds to live, or I will become ill. And this action has a magnet sign. Basically, this action will automatically magnet the required card. You cannot take it out, it's basically stuck here. And sometimes these actions will prioritize specific cards. So you must keep it in mind. Well, let's see, what can we dream of? We have dread. Maybe we can do something about it, but we cannot start this action because if we put dread here, it instantly puts another one. Reminder. I remember that I was different, but I can't remember how. Dread can be quelled with the correct resource. Which resource? Well, it says here. We need aspect of contentment. But I don't have it, so maybe let's just keep this thing here. There was once a man who said that the sleep of reason produced monsters. Often it is heavily to let the mind wander in sleep. But what if I keep dreaming? Sooner or later, some sort of monster will rise from my own fears. Well, you see a little warning here. And this is a little hint for you that not every action is actually useful to you, or not every action is immediately useful to you. If you don't know what you're doing, sometimes you can get into dangerous situations and actually ruin your run. Well, let's try to sleep on it. Also, as you can see here, we can put our new temptation here, enlightenment, but also, as I click here, there is a red cross. That means that cards with this aspect are not allowed. A great work, the final fulfillment of a desire, is often a conclusion. It is not enough to hope I stand or fail on my deeds. Desires are often the means of winning the game. The desire for sensation or power or enlightenment will require a great ritual, but there are others. Even rare desires, especially in the ghoul, priest, and dancer expansions. And yeah, this part is interesting because this game has been out for some time, and it has some DLC expansions, which you'll have to pay for if you want to access them. I have them, so I can play them, but if you purchase the game, we have some kinda lesser options than you could. But also you can see here, even though I put my card, even though it is correct card, with correct aspects, I cannot do anything. I cannot start, I cannot put second card. Yeah, basically some cards you cannot play, but you can read a little hint, a little description, a little bit of lore. And if you didn't understand this right away, this game has a lot of reading to do. And if you enjoy this kind of stuff, where you try to immerse yourself into the world by just reading alone, then it's quite a good game for you. But if you're more a visual player, where you need a little more presentation, well, you might be a little bit disappointed. And now I have an address. I'll dispatch a letter and propose a meeting. Talk is now unlocked. And we've got a Mystique. Uncanniness lingers. Mystique may attract the attention of hunters. They can use it to build a case against you, but it will encourage them to look harder. Well, you see, this card, by its existence alone, can attract hunters to us. And Dread is not doing anything right now. So let's study something else. For example, maybe we can study our knowledge. But we need to study it with something. And sadly, we don't have this something. So let's abandon this idea. And maybe study vitality. I need more. And it says here, you need more vitality. So maybe I can study this subtle structure. Again, there is a whole bunch of things that you can do, and you require a special thing, an aspect of law with this thing. Basically, what this exclamation mark means, that a card must have this aspect and also this one. What if I study my dread? Again, put something here. Yeah, basically we cannot do anything, so let's study the direction to this interesting shop. The directions to Morland's shop are cryptic. When one deals in the kind of books my correspondent studied, one must be circumspect. Yeah, some quite interesting words are here. The time is passing, and every time is passes, something may happen. Basically, a season of something will appear as the reward for this action. By the passage of these 54 seconds, you will draw a season of visions, and it will do something. It might give you a card, it might give you an action, it might start a hunt against you, who knows. The reply to your letter is cautious, and if cautious, they're intrigued by how you found their name, intrigued enough to meet you. And this is our first acquaintance. Eldridge, an acquaintance. An elegant man of inelegant habits. And here are some hints. He is mortal. And he can die. Yeah. Some cards can be encountered only once. Like Dread. You can encounter it how many times you want. Funds. There are infinite amount of funds. But this card is kinda special. If this person dies, it will die forever. So, what if we talk about something with this person? Together we might be more. Here's someone I might work with. A companion or a follower. But first I must give them something to follow. A society. A sodality. An order. A cult. Let's pass some time. And you see, we've got something here. I have begun my true work. The authorities will take interest in it. I must be ready for them. You have begun to establish your cult. It will need a little more before you can recruit followers. And we got notoriety. Certain acts are not quickly forgotten. Notoriety will allow hunters to build a case against you. So, before that we got Mystique. It said here that they cannot use it to build a case against us, but here they can. Let's continue by starting our cult. And in order to start our cult, we need to choose our founding principles. Tradition and compulsion. Old, new, or both together. Add lore to determine your cult's founding principles. In this game, you cannot just start a cult without providing a little bit of proof of your knowledge. It's not like you in real life where you can just make up something and people will follow. An occult society dedicated to the understanding of the light that leaks from fiercest places. Basically, there are different types of knowledges. But in this start, the aspirant one, that is only given to us, there are many more, but this is one we chose. We have only this knowledge. Maybe we can gather more knowledge if we do something else here, but let's just put it here. As you can see, this type of action requires some input. However, we can put it in or put it out at any given moment. We can do it like just before the time runs out, or just stick it in here and just wait. And this is important because sometimes you will put cards into these actions and there will be another action that has a magnet. And this magnet doesn't really care where this card is located. If it needs be, it will just suck this card out of other action, so be mindful of that. Find Morland's shop, an ill-lit street, at an ill-favored bend in a lesser river. A soft yellow light through a grimy window. Miss Morland nods as I enter, but doesn't rise. I never ask the names of my clients, she informs me, before I have time to introduce myself. Explore is now unlocked. And as you can see, this table becomes a little bit easy. And in the later game, you might even need to move stuff around and actually rearrange some stuff, because you'll get a lot of different cards. So keep it in mind. And here, as I said before, maybe we want to make a cult of Mirror of the Glory. We have this option. Or maybe we can create another cult, because this is also a lore, an occult scrap. And we can also put it here. And this society will be different. So basically, we can create different cults that are trying to find different truths about the world beyond. An occult society dedicated to the study of the 5 histories and their 1000 demi-real branches. Well, our dream is progressing. Now I can flow my flesh, patch by patch, tugging the tendons free like fiber picked from teeth. My skin lies like a shredded blanket. The sun heaves itself above the horizon with a triumphant battle yell. The light falls like an acid on my naked bones. Pain wakes me. My bones will throb for days. And we got fascination. And right now, this card is kinda, well, not good. Light leaks through the cracks. My mind is brighter than ever. The higher I rise, the more I see. And again, this card has ill health aspect. If we don't consume this card somehow, it might disappear by itself, or it might attract something unwanted. Like you can see here, we can quell this. As you can see here, we put our dread in with fascination. The doors of vision swing wide. A little darkness will mellow my light. Even red has its uses. Basically, what we do is we destroy one ill health card with yet another ill health card. And we're doing some kind of dream. Well, let's see what will happen. Terrible clarity. Our purpose demands we recognize truths that chill the spirit. I must give of myself. And basically, it requires us to give our reason. Let's see what will happen. And, as I said before, the previous season was Season of Visions, or something like that. And it created a trembling in the air. The sun flickers like a shadow. Dreams ripple behind the surface of mirrors. I must be careful not to drift the waking world. Fascination may provoke visions. And this is quite fortunate that we destroyed this fascination with our sleep. Because if this card would have existed here, it would be immediately magneted here, and something might have happened. Maybe something bad, but usually it's something bad. My first recruit. A cult with one member is only an unusual habit. I must have a recruit. Let's put our new acquaintance into the cult. Let's wait a little bit. Composure. The air is curdled now. I'm home again in this lumpen flesh. Better perhaps. A fleeting reminiscence. A moment in time. In another moment, it will be gone. And this thing is a memory. Basically, sometimes things just persist for a while, and maybe they can be used somehow differently. And now, finally, our rise begins. I have founded my cult. This is a step to greater power. Use your cult to recruit and promote followers. Talk with followers about your cult and send them out on cult business. And finally, before we had a card that was called Elridge, an acquaintance, but now it's an Elridge, a believer. Elridge has almost learned not to pick his teeth with his knife in conversations. He has not yet learned to leave his knife in his boot. And every single believer or follower will have their own aspects. So basically, he is just yet another resource, another card that we can play. This is our headquarters that we can use somehow, and this is our society, our cult, a society of Saint Hydra. A cult society dedicated to the study of 5 histories and their 1000 demi-real branches. Usually allows you to use any aspect to promote believers, but it has no exalted specialities. Yeah, and there is a little hint on how many different other cults you have. But I want to stop here, because this game is all about exploration. Your exploration into the unknown that is presented here. And yes, as I warned you, this game is very heavy on text. You'll be reading a lot. And if you enjoy this stuff, I highly recommend this game, because it's really fun to engage yourself in this tabletop-like experience. Single-player tabletop-like experience. However, maybe if you are not so sure on reading, well, then maybe you could try. Maybe you'll like it. Who knows? But this is it for me, and I hope you enjoyed it, and good luck!